Hey everybody, it's Greg from Park Journey. Hope you're all doing all right, having a good had a good week. It's a Friday night, so today we've got a all new update here from Universal Studios Hollywood's at the park earlier today. Lots going on at the park for Halloween Horror Nights. Obviously, Halloween Horror Nights starts 2 weeks from yesterday, which is kind of amazing. We are so excited for Halloween Horror Nights. If you didn't get a chance already to check out our strategy guide or survival guide, excuse me, make sure you go check that out as well. We have a blog post and a video for our survival guide this year. In this update, like I said, we've got Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to take a look at everything going on the upper lot and all of the houses. We've got some Halloween Horror Nights merch, and then of course we've got the latest for Fast and Furious construction going on. Lots of supports have been added since our last update, and today we've also got the first look at some of the track on the course. There was obviously been station track for a while now, but we've got the first piece of track underneath the first section of the Starway, so we've got a little bit of that as well. Lots to get to today, so we're going to get right into it. But before I do, make sure you click below to subscribe. As always, greatly appreciated. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to start up here on the upper lot. If you don't recognize this truck, it has been used in Halloween Horror Nights houses for a long time. Lots of different things over the years, which they have brought out to the Chainsaw Pugs scare zones. You can see we've got some skeletons and skateboards and chainsaws and all kinds of fun stuff. So this is going to be a really fun area. This is also where they will be doing the yearly tradition of Chainsaw Chase Out. If you've never done Chainsaw Chase Out, you need to. It is one of our absolute favorite things every year at Halloween Horror Nights. Over near the Limley Plaza, there is going to be a Chucky dive bar, or dive bar, as you can see there. So this is where the Peacock Bar was last year. So they are still bringing Chucky out in some fashion, which is fantastic. Love Chucky at Halloween Horror Nights. He's always a treat. So this will be kind of fun. Over in the middle part of the scare zones here, this is basically right outside of Universal Plaza. This will be where all of the fire is, all the stilt walkers, all kinds of stuff. So it looks like they're still kind of dressing this a little bit. There's no sign that I saw over here announcing the name of the scare zone, which they always like to do. So nothing here yet, but there's still, 2 weeks left. So lots of time for them to add more to this particular area. But again, this will be where all your fire is and all that stuff that they do every year, which is always fun. In Universal Plaza, as has been tradition for the last couple of years, they are doing the Dia de los Muertos area. I think as I'm scrolling over here to the left, I think the bar here is a little bit bigger than it has been in previous years. I think there's the little overhang there. I think that's a little bit bigger as well, which is great. This is a great little area to come and when you're taking your break in Halloween Horror Nights, come out and have some fun, listen to the music, and have something to eat. Here we are outside of A Quiet Place. Nothing really here to see right now. I'm sure there'll be a sign or something up at some point, but as of right now, nothing here for A Quiet Place that we can see. But it'll be basically the same entrance where The Walking Dead was and where Evil Dead was last year. Moving over to Monstrous, this facade is just so cool. Absolutely love this facade. Love this house last year. I am very much looking forward to the repeat of the house. So this is really cool. And then you can just see just the amount of detail here that they've added into the facade of this house. Obviously, that means the house is obviously very detailed as well, if you remember Monstrous from last year. So I'm looking forward to some new surprises here for Monstrous 2 coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year. And outside of the Cochina, there is the Crows area, where the Crows scare zone is. So basically, it's 3 scare zones, but it's all pretty much connected. So you can see here the Murder of Crows area here. Nice little nest there. I'm sure there's going to be some people popping out of there and some cool effects, some cool lighting effects and things like that, which is basically right up against the wall of Fast and Furious, right across the way from Wizarding World. And then over outside of Monstros is the Luchadores scare zone. This is going to be, I anticipate this being a very fun and very popular scare zone. Just by the looks of this right here, it looks so cool and so fun. There'll probably be some, some monsters in the rink there. Obviously, they've got the little scrims there that they do every year. Here they've got some luchadores in the cages here, which is really fantastic. Just really detailed. I'm sure they'll be swapping out with actual people with along with the mannequins as well. So that'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to this. And one of the we'll take another look at it here in a minute. But one of the things I'm always really impressed with is the artwork that they have for the posters here in the scare zones they've been doing here. So just really cool artwork, and the whole team is to be committed there. But we'll take a closer look at those posters here in a minute. Another one of your luchadores in the cage there. And then as we're walking around through to the rest of the scare zone, a bigger cage here, and here we've got the name of the scare zone, Luchadores Monstruosos. I believe that's the way it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it looks like maybe like the monster luchadores have basically caged up the regular ones, and then the monsters are kind of roaming around. So that's kind of cool. I dig that. And then, as I mentioned, I wanted to show you a quick look at some of the just amazing detail in some of these posters. They are just so cool and so killer. We'll put up photos of the full posters on our blog post that we're gonna put up here. It won't be today. It'll probably be Monday once by the time we get that up. But these are just so cool and so detailed. Just kudos to all of the artists. And then moving down to the lower lot here, we have a look at Dead Exposure. So that van's been there for a while. So that'll be obviously the entrance to the house, I believe. And then we've got the exit going out there. And then that'll lead right into Texas Chainsaw. And you can see there from the video that we posted from Midsummer Scream, where John walked through the house. We'll link that here as well in the video. You can see everything on that facade there. I did not do the studio tour today, so I didn't get a closer look at the facade there. But yeah, you can see really what's going on there in Dead Exposure. And then they do have a new barbecue place up downstairs, Leatherface's. They had this last time they did Texas Chainsaw, so not really a surprise that they brought it back. So they had some pretty good food here last time. So you got to kind of, get it out of your head that it's, Leatherface's barbecue. I did not see any indication of the weekend bar. That upper bar is closed off. And there were some team members coming down from there, so I didn't see an indication if that's making a return, but would not be surprising to see that make a return at all. And then just one last look up on the upper lot here at the Dia de los Muertos area. So just want to take a quick look at some of the merchandise here for Halloween Horror Nights. Nothing really new other than the house shirts. The Orlando seems to have more shirts out as of right now. They don't have the shirts out with all of the houses yet. So here you see, Ghostbusters and A Quiet Place. I think these have mostly been out for a while, so nothing really new here. But still some really great merchandise here. All right, so let's move over to Fast and Furious construction. So this is the the station. It's rather large, as you can see there, kind of jutting up over the wall there, and then we've got lots of support, some pretty tall ones too. I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm not a Fast and Furious fan. I am very much looking forward to this coaster. I think it's going to be the best coaster in California. Or at least pretty close to it. So I'm very much looking forward to the coaster part of it. The theme, I wish they would have gone with a different direction other than just, probably a garage theme up on the upper lot of Universal Studios. I would have, loved it had they done like Ride the Movies or something, instead of just, Fast and Furious. But, hey, it is what it is. It's cool. I'll live with it. I will enjoy it. And, I've been proven wrong many times, and this is probably going to be another time. But here you can see a lot of the supports here. We've got our square supports and our round supports that we talked about in a couple of updates in recent memory. And then obviously they're really long with a really tall one there. There's the track that's kind of been there for a while, coming in and out of the station, and then you can see it here. Basically, we've got transfer track, brake track, things like that. Obviously, we don't know, the full layout of the coaster yet. The park hasn't released everything yet, so we're not quite sure, if that's a show element, if it's just transfer track, brake run, into the station, out of the station, whatever it is. So obviously, we'll find out together when the park releases that information. And we'll just take a quick look around the Fast and Furious area here. The building there it's quite large, to be perfectly honest. So it's definitely going to change the look of the upper lot here. Obviously there's been lots of rumors of what's going to happen with with Springfield. We don't know anything at this point, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see if anything changes with that over the next couple of years. And as a reminder, Fast and Furious will be opening in 2026. So it is not next year. It's still basically a year and a half or so away. Obviously, it looks like they're doing a lot. It looks like they're getting a lot done, but there's still a lot to do. And then moving down, here is that piece of track that I referred to in the opening. This is basically right underneath the first section of the Starway here. You can see track has been added. I'm sure probably tomorrow there'll be another piece there added to that support there. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty epic coaster here, going through a lot of the area of the park here. Up and down and around the Starway is going to be a lot of great visuals on this coaster. I think I mentioned it in an earlier update. A lot of coasters are kind of behind fences and you can't really see a whole lot of them and things like that. This coaster, you're going to be able to see probably most of the coaster, if not all of it. I would say, probably 90% of the coaster you're going to be able to see from the park, which is pretty amazing. That's not something that is very common in coasters anymore. They're not really built in the middle of the park like this. And then moving back up from the lower lot here, we'll take a look going back up the hill, back up to the upper lot here. Here's that support that we were looking at earlier So here's that support we were looking at earlier from the Despicable Me area. There's the station and the track there, and then obviously all of the supports that we were looking at from the top down, and all of the huge footers for this coaster. And then we'll take a look down the hill too as well, just so you can get a look at how far this coaster sits down the hill, or how far this coaster goes. It's a huge project. I think it looks to be just as long as Velocicoaster, but I think it takes up more real estate than Velocicoaster. So most of the first half of Velocicoaster is all kind of in that paddock area. It's pretty compact there. This seems to stretch out a longer part of the park than that does. So we'll kind of get a turn around the corner here and get a look down the tram road here, and you can just see just how much they're really doing. It's kind of amazing. Look at all that down there. So you see that, that's why it's taking till 2026. They haven't really even started on a whole lot of this down there. They're just now putting in foundations and supports for the wall, for the dirt, holding the wall back there. Still, you can see they were digging footers down there, so there's still quite a bit to do. So while it looks like they're moving pretty quickly here, from this top level, there's still a lot to do on the bottom half of this attraction. So that's going to be why that they are going to 2026. In addition to that, they also have concerns, with the neighbors. They can only work certain hours, things like that. But you can just see down there, they're just now getting to where they're putting in the retaining walls in that area as well. And then I'm not sure about the dirt on the top part above the retaining walls. I'm not sure if that's part of the coaster as well. But they were doing, when I was driving up the hill from Lancashire, they were doing some work in that area on the drive side. Lastly, I did check out the new game in Super Nintendo World. I hadn't seen it yet. So this is the new video game. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video from Universal Studios Hollywood. We will obviously be back at Universal Studios Hollywood in 2 weeks for the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. Very much looking forward to that as always. We'll always obviously have all of our maze walkthroughs and, house walkthroughs and everything. And then we'll be going back the first Sunday and using early entry as well. So take care. Have a great weekend.